So if you're new to QandR, you also don't know your way yet in the dashboard. So in this tutorial, I just give a brief overview of all the functions in the dashboard. I will not go deep into this because there are separate tutorials on that, but just to give you what is where. So QandR is completely web-based. So the editor environment, the dashboard is also web-based. The browser is just full screen at the moment on my side. I'll make the screen a bit different so you can actually see what I'm doing. So the signing in is on the right top. You type there your username and password, and then when you open it, you see the dashboard opening. So inside here there are two very important buttons. So first of all, there's create a session. This is when you want to do a live session with the focus group. You actually select your project and you say create session, and then the screen will jump to the full screen version and show the first visual, and there will be this code that people can actually log in. We'll not do it now because there's a separate tutorial on that. So here on the top you see a button called new project. This one we use if you say, okay, I'm preparing for a new client. He wants to also do more interactive and funny sessions whereby phones are used. Then you can click on new project and you give it a title, a reference number, and you can start using the editor with the E of the keyboard to actually put assignments inside. So that is the new project. This is a very important part. Here you see a tab with projects. So these are the projects. If your colleagues share projects with you, it's under shared with me. On this demo account, nothing is shared. And here you see two tabs. These are for future. We are developing the way that people can just have shared screens also. When you have a screen for instance, in a common room where everybody is, then you want this screen to be available for everybody. And then you can use also your remote control, which can be on your own phone. Just start it and this screen will be there. So now we are in September 2019. We're expecting to launch this somewhere in the end of the year. It's not there yet, but the button is in the dashboard yet. So what you see here on the top, two more important things is like a little question mark and a settings. So under the settings you can choose your front-end style. Sometimes clients, they use multiple styles and we prepare them for them, and you can switch here if you want another branding on your QandR visuals. And the other one is the question mark, and you see several tabs here on the top. So first it opens on manuals where you have a quick guide how to start a session. If you do the little button down, it starts downloading it. There's a link to our video tutorials which are on YouTube. Some slides which goes basically really through the editor but also visually done. And there's a link to the keyboard shortcut. You see the picture also here. So let me click on it. And you see it opens big. It's maybe nice to print this when you do a live session. So you actually have this available. It shows all the keyboard shortcuts, like E is for opening the editor when you're preparing something. The S is for making a screenshot. D is going back to the dashboard. We have an M here for muting the phones when you're in a live session and you see too much movements. You just want to pause it in a way. Or mute the phones, and you do M. So the other tabs is here the tutorials. Well, I guess when you're watching this movie you found this tab already, but what's important that here on the top there's a little playlist icon thing. Now there are 4, this will become more in the future when you're watching this maybe. This is a YouTube embed, so yeah, it's kind of hidden here in my opinion, but here you see the different tutorials. Here are some slides when you're pitching this product to your clients. There's a general text which you might have to translate in your own language and something on how it works. And this visual here is maybe also nice to include in an offer if you want to do that, because it shows it gives an overview of all the modules and the way you can use it. And then there's a session list here. This is like all the stuff that this account did, and also history showing a list of of login details, etc. Here you can see most of it was done yesterday and today. And at last but not least, the contact button here. If there's any questions, you have a direct phone number to us, which is a bit different from our public website because we get a lot of calls that we don't want. This phone number we will pick up and we're immediately available. And you can ask for me, Rutger Roosendorff, Joost Baalman, and our email addresses. So that is the question mark, and yeah, here's the list of projects which are shown in many other tutorials as well.